welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. The 33rd chapter of Deuteronomy begins, and this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. The Lord came from Sinai, and he came with 10,000s of his saints. From his right hand went a fiery law from them. Yea, he loved the people. All his saints are in thy hand. Every one shall receive thy words. The great hymn here quoted is mainly an invocation of blessing, but it begins as the national existence of Israel began with a revelation of God on Sinai, and it lays that as the foundation of everything. And it anticipates the deepest aspects of Christian truth. They are here in these verses. He loved the people. That is the beginning of everything. The word for loved only appears in this place. There lies in it a very tender and beautiful expression of the warmth of God's love, for it refers to the bosom and a tender embrace. So the picture we have is of a great divine lover, folding the people to his heart like a father sheltering and adoring his own children and cherish them in his bosom. Still further, the word is in a form of the Hebrew which implies that the act spoken about is neither past, present, nor future only, but continuous and perpetual. Thus it suggests to us the thought of timeless, eternal love, which has no beginning and no end, which does not grow, and therefore will never decline nor decay, for which forever flows on one lofty level with neither ups nor downs, and with no fluctuations of the impulse which sends it forth, always the same, and always holding its object in the fervent embrace of which the text speaks. God's revelation to this old singer, who lived with the mists of antiquity around him, who could have known nothing about the cross, the advent, and resurrection of Christ, somehow raised him to the height of the evangelical conception of God's love as the foundation of the very existence of the people who are his. Like almond branches, leaves, and fruit growing from a dry stick of wood, this singer, with so much less upon which to build his face than we have, has yet borne this fair flower of deep and devout insight into the secret of things and the heart of God. He loved the people. Therefore he formed them for himself. Therefore he brought them out of bondage. Therefore he came down in flashing fire on Sinai and made known his will, which to know and do is life. All begins with the tender, timeless love of God. And if the question is asked, why does God thus love? The only answer is because he is God. Not for your sakes, O Israel, but for mine own name's sake. In God's love, as in all his acts, he is his own motive, as his name, I am that I am, proclaims. It is inseparable from his being and flows forth before and independent of anything in you or me that could draw it out. The singer goes on to say, all his saints are in thy hand. Now, what is a saint? A saint is someone who answers God's love by his love. The term proper belongs to every one of God's people. The root idea of sanctity or holiness is not moral character, goodness of disposition, of an action, but it is separation from the world and consecration to the God. The second meaning of saint is righteous and pure, but his first meaning is separated from evil, and that by the power of his received love. All his saints are in thy hands. That means two things. It means absolute security, for will he not close his fingers over his palm to keep the soul that has laid itself there? And none shall pluck them out of my Father's hand. No one but you yourself can do that. But you can do it. I can do it. Any of us who cease to respond to his love by definition shall cease to be a saint. Anyone who does fall out of his hand, and how far shall be that fall, God only knows. So let us fulfill the next condition in these verses. Every one shall receive thy words. True religion is imitation of God. The blessedness and power of Christian morality is that Jesus walks the high road before us and uses the pure bond of love to empower us to follow in his footsteps.
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.